Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday.
We have to tape now.
Blessed start to a new week. And we just want to give you the full spiel, so we're not going to do the in and out. We just want you to...
Happy Monday!
Yes.
We're here.
Yes, and it's beautiful today. It's not too hot. It's like just so nice, so mellow. This is what, the ease into summer should be like. But I'm loving today. I wanted to tell you guys and share with you guys, so many of you reached out to us and, we're, sorry that you couldn't make the event on Saturday. It was such a great time. We were honestly just so thankful that you guys wanted to come out. And we will be planning more of these in the future.
But for those of you who did, woo! So much camaraderie, just good time, eating, talking, working.
Yes, we worked. We worked. And it wasn't, work. It was working on ourselves.
Which is the hardest work.
Right. But it was like, okay, apt moment right now. You have no other excuses. Your children are taken care of. You're outside of your home. You're not seeing all of your to-do list running. You were displaced from your routine.
I think that was actually the hardest piece, was for people to come. Because everyone had their list as soon as they got out to run to this barbecue, run to that pool party, whatever. But to really take out that piece of time for yourself is so paramount. It is the biggest piece for us mothers. And some of you did it. And you loved it. At least that's what you told us.
Yes.
At least that's what we felt.
We felt. I'm very, very big on atmosphere. And it was just such a welcoming, loving unity. Like we were just like-minded and feeling the same sort of space and just acceptance and support. And I'm like, that is our group. That is the vibe we want to perpetuate in our group. And we just love that. That was what came together when we met in person. It was just so
Our whole mission statement was displayed on Saturday. We had a really good time. We want to thank Be Brilliant.
Yes, you see our
They
gear.
sponsored our event. They helped us get these beautiful cups.
Yes.
Be Brilliant Coffee Time. This is their line coming out. And Mercy Over Judgment. If you came, you got this fab cup. You can see that. Boom.
Oh yeah, we posted that before. But
And
you like my hat?
yes, you can order at BBNYC. Shop BBNYC. You can get your own stuff. Order. But we thank them. We thank them for helping us. Yes, look a real official.
No, it was a great event. It was a great event. If we didn't already say, I'm Stasie Tillman. This is
Dr. Cressada, Glean, Brillant.
Yes, and we are the mothers and founders of Mercy Over Judgment Moms Discussion Group. And yeah, so we took that virtual idea and we met in person, and it was fantabulous, I must say. And I just love the outcome of it. So we did this one activity where we were trying to encourage these moms to focus on themselves and figure out what it was that they were aspirations were, what their personal goals were. We've been talking about this since the beginning of the year. What are your New Year's goals?
We were identifying that we get lost
Yes.
in our goals,
Yes,
all
we
wrapped
do.
up in everybody else's missions.
Yes.
And ours just kind of get pushed to the side somewhere.
Mm-hmm. So having that, encouragement and that being the sole focus is you. Okay, now dig deep. Go through these magazines. Steep yourself in that creative energy. And
The magazines was vision boards.
Yes,
Made vision
that was the activity we did this time, and it was just so helpful. It really was to start thinking about yourself again, thinking about where you got lost. It's halfway through your year, so if you had one main goal that you wanted to accomplish this year, it forced you to be like, okay, where am I with that? Mm-hmm. What did I want it to look like? And if you even didn't take time to visualize what achieving that goal would feel like, would look like, this forced you to do that.
And some women were like, I always wanted to do this.
Yeah,
Never had the time.
Yes. And all all the tools were right there, and they just honestly jumped right in. That was like my high point of the event, is just to seeing how they took to it. They were just like, okay,
Or you did one before, but you didn't focus it on career, or focus it on hobbies, or whatever it is, wants that you need. So you can your vision board could be really general, or you could
even one of the moms
specific.
Was like, you know, oh, you have more than one? And I'm like, yeah, I have like 3. I'm doing another one today. Like, I just keep going. I have different areas of focus, so I'm just like, let me create. And she's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. You can do whatever you want, you know. It helps you to keep your vision in front of you. And helps with that visualization thing, you know. Not everybody can easily, you know, tap into that imaginative part of them.
Right.
So having that visual helps you to, you know, be that dreamer again, which is necessary to perpetuate you, to get you moving in faith, to create.
We are mothers, so yes, we did start talking about children and education.
Yes. Oh yeah.
That was not remiss. We did talk about that, and
Stacie
had to be like, wrap it up. We have we have things to do. So, because we could have sat there.
Sidetracked. How do you feel about these Common Core? It's summertime.
We could have sat there and just talked exactly. And that would have been the whole 2 hours. Yeah. But we did a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. And it was fantabulous. So.
It was great. It was great. And we will do it again and definitely keep you guys posted. So plan it in advance to join us.
Yes.
To join us.
So the whole month we've been talking about healing.
Yes.
Spiritually, emotionally. No, is that how we want to say it? Body.
Mm-hmm. Mind.
And now we're wrapping it up.
Yes. And one key part of our healing process, mind you, is something we do every day, but we are kind of mindless with it at this point. And I didn't realize how mindless I was with my daily habit until I had to do a fast. And it was just like, okay, I'm just eating. This is what I eat every day. You know, I just eat these things because they're here, because they're convenient, because they fill me up, and then 2 hours later I got to eat again and figure it out.
She's always asking,
always.
What's for lunch?
What's for dinner? I have to plan these things for everybody, so you know. And we discount how much what we put in our bodies affects, you know, our output, affects how we feel, our energy levels, affects, you know, our immunity, you know, so many factors. And so, you know, we didn't want to leave this month without, you know, addressing that. And today we are blessed to have with us nutritionist and, as I said, natural healing enthusiast, Christine D'Angelo. Welcome her, please. Hi, mommies.
Oh, that's perfect.
It is. It's very well. Yeah, so Christine, please, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this.
Well, I got into nutritional counseling because I saw the need for myself. I had health issues, and I saw the benefits almost instantly, and it was amazing. I have so many testimonies I could share, but your show wouldn't be long enough. But I can tell you that it is so important. It is so key. But I did tell the ladies earlier too. It's very much key. But without God and bringing Him into your prayer life and guiding you, what you should do nutritionally through counsel with someone like myself, or Him leading you, no matter what you do nutritionally, it won't work. We have to keep Him abiding in that vine and getting His guidance daily. And the significance in the biblically, it talks about communion, and it's food, and you know, you're taking the bread and you're using the wine, and the wine has antioxidants in it, and there's something there. And throughout the Bible it talks about food. We're not just spirit, we are spirit. I believe that we have our body houses our spirit, but we need to take care of the body.
Yes. And
there's, you know, that level of nutrition, what God provided in the earth, the nutrients, the things that we have. It's so amazing when you look at everything He's created, and you see the carrot looks like an eye, and when you look at Well, the kidney beans, that's an easy one. The kidney beans look like your kidneys. And the walnut looks like our brain. And it's like, wow, God, you really made this simple for us. And it's like, what do I need to eat for these functions in my body? And he's made celery for our bones. And it's just amazing that he's created in the earth, and not only things that are good for us to eat just on a daily basis for preventative of disease, but to actually heal us. And it's amazing that garlic, ginger is anti-inflammatory. And I was telling the ladies when I first got here yesterday, I had a horrible eye infection. And all it took was me diluting some apple cider vinegar, putting it on a cotton ball, and putting it in my eye, and it was cleared up in a day. And I was like, you're awesome. I was like, God, thank you. I mean, it's just like, he just, and you know, and I can't just say like all the things I've studied, that I really believe it's the connection with God too, that he just like, go use this. Right. You know, and it's not just, insights. I could study all that I want, but it's just his leading and guiding. And I really feel that that's important, that, you know, for mommies too, with your kids, like there's so many things that you could be doing for your children that you have in your home. And nutrition is key for reparative, preventative, and just for even our mood. Just taking 2 handfuls of cashews is the equivalent to an antidepressant. Which would you rather take? No side effects. Dark chocolate, the same thing. I mean, I love chocolate. And I'm telling you, it's like, okay, now I can have this. It's healthy for me, and it's actually beneficial. It actually helps my mood. And it's like to enhance. It's not just, you know, these are things that will help us every day. And it's not just you're eating anymore, you're putting more thought into it. And your nutrition is you're building your life. Like if you want to have a good day, eat right. Yes. If you want to, you know, not feel sluggish, eliminate stuff from your diet that's going to, you know, like, you know, there's some kind of things that are like, you get that false comfort from. You know, the comfort foods, well, you could change them around to the healthier version and really have benefits. You know, it's you know, you might feel good for a little while after eating like a greasy hamburger or something, but then you really feel the sluggish after. But if you eat right and you watch what you're eating, and you're eating more, and you're being more conscious of what you're eating and putting in your body, it's like I said, reparative, it's preventative, and it's just overall, it will help you and benefit you with your life. You will actually see a big change in your life when you start changing your dietary intake, and not just that, but you know, you could do the meal plans and just start. Because so many of us don't know this, and you don't know until you start doing it. Yeah. And I'm going to take it back to you, Stasie, because you had, we had met, and I put Stasie on a plan, and I just want you to share what that plan, what you noticed, what happened with when you went on that.
Sure. So, like I said, I had all these cravings. I was, you know, up and down with like sugar and coffee. That was mainly my diet, as well as just feeling weak. So it was just up and down, and as well, I'm still nursing, mind you. And, you know, so there was good foods in there some way, but not consistently, and not that I should feel good all the time. Like, I'm working out, I'm doing all this, but I don't feel good. So Christine suggested that I do a Daniel fast. And I've heard of this before, but I didn't know what was involved. And it was basically, you're just eating majority veggies. Yeah. So it's organic, and even thinking about that, I would have just went to Stop and Shop. She's like, no, you know, hone in on organic, because again, I wasn't thinking about all that goes in, the hormones, the pesticides, things like that. We're just, you know, go to our grocery store, get what we need to do, to get. And so I was like, okay, I went to a farmer's market. I went to, like, I took the time. I was like, I'm invested in this, right, and I want to see results. So I'm gonna painstakingly focus on each of these details. And I went to the farmer's market. I bought, all these organic fruits and veggies, and I
stuck with it.
I did.
And
so I was only supposed to do it for 10 days.
Good. I'm glad. The more people we get that understand the importance, the better.
Yes,
and that's what it's too. It's like I'm like, when I told her about the organics, it's because there's genetically modified food. They call them GMO. It's a genetically modified organism. That's not food, folks.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I'm just going to tell you like it is.
Food.
It's synthetic. And it's not what God put in the earth. And what he put in the earth, man is trying to improve on. And that's why we have all this processed stuff. And it's almost like pharmaceutical now. And it's not even what he intended. He knew what he was doing with the soil and what would be in it for our bodies. When they're tweaking this and they're modifying it to the extent where it's I call it synthetic. Our bodies can't process it, and we wonder why we have all these problems with our GI, with our gastrointestines, and we're bloating, we don't feel right, and we're not getting the nutrients from those things. You can taste the difference between these genetically modified organisms and the organic, and you can feel the difference too. And I was really happy because when I follow up, I love to hear how they're doing. When people are following the plan, I was so excited. I was like, all right, Stasie, that's awesome, because she did it and she felt the benefits. And I mean, that in itself is a testimony why we should focus on our nutrition.
What did you start feeling?
So yeah, like the first 2 days, obviously you're eliminating stuff, so I expected to feel a little slower and weaker and whatever, and then after that it was just like, okay, I got this. And honestly, like, energy boost, and like just my inside felt better. Like every single time I ate, I actually felt satisfied and I felt good. Like I never had this like, oh, I gotta sit here for and work this off sort of feeling. And I just I felt like my skin felt clearer, and like my thought process, that's what was big for me, because I was clearer earlier in the morning. Like I'm a morning person, yes, but it would be slow going, and then we would have this drop midday, and then I was like, I wasn't having that. I was just, okay, I have this, and my body was doing what it was supposed to do. I just felt good. Like I couldn't even explain it. Like I felt refreshed.
Yes.
And I even I was only supposed to do it 10 days, and I just kept going, and I was like, oh, it's been longer than 10 days, and I wasn't eating meats, I wasn't eating coffee, like my usual thing to keep me going. I had no coffee, I had no sugars. That was huge for me too, and I felt good, and I loved that feeling. So I'm like, it had me now to the point that I'm like, considering and incorporating just vegetarian periods. Like I'm just gonna have to, because I don't, I feel better.
Intermittent, yeah. When you fast, like you can go on and off, and I know a lot of people that do it like once a week. They'll do it on a Monday. Yeah. They'll do their fast after a weekend, and it's awesome. And I have some good news for you. You could have coffee and you could have your sugar, but there's a healthy sugar. It's coconut sugar. There's alternatives that we could use that are healthier for us, and there's actually a healthier coffee. It's called Pero, and it's used chicory. And you feel better, and it doesn't have the effects of the caffeine, but you do feel more alert. Yeah. So you can do things. We don't want you to feel like, oh gosh, I have to eliminate everything, and it's gonna be boring, or it's gonna be you're gonna miss things. I mean, I've been looking into the craziest stuff you wouldn't believe, like how to make Twinkies gluten-free. I mean, I love Twinkies. It's like, hey, we don't want to give them all our fun foods. Like, and this is an awesome recipe I want to share with you. Avocado pudding. You can make this for your kids. You take the avocados, cacao powder, and some honey. Put it in a blender, and it is a delicious pudding. And the kids won't really know the difference. Wow. And there you go, no dairy. Yeah. And the cacao powder is better than the regular cocoa powder. And you could sweeten it with honey. Stevia is okay, but you could actually, there's so many things that you could do that would help you feel better when you're eating it. And you want that. You want your foods to be, to be fun. Mm-hmm. You want to have but you want it to be healthy. Yep. And when you're more conscious on your health and just say, okay, this is going to make me feel like garbage after. I'll feel good for a little while, yep. But then you come right back down. So, you're starting, and for your kids, you're going to see a change in your kids too, because obesity and diabetes mm-hmm. is just in America is on the rise, and I think it's because mommies are really busy. But I'd like to maybe I'm going to definitely be giving more attention with Stasie to show her some things that she could do, food plans, mm-hmm. and I want her to share that with you ladies. Maybe she'll share in her kitchen when she's preparing and doing her food yes. prep. That little group. Tips and things for you girls to do for your kids, because it's so important. It is so important, not just for you, yes. for your husband, for your kids, for everyone. And it's going to be harder for you to get your husbands on board, mm-hmm. Because they just want their meat, they want their, but you could show them, just introduce it gradually and have them try out a fast.
Well, that's funny that you said that. So Stasie went on the fast, and then she was talking to me about it. I was like, oh, I'll go on the fast with you. So I was doing the fast, and then my husband was like, oh, you're not eating meat? And I'm like, no. And he was like, I'm going to do it, because he's secretly been wanting to do it for a long time. And he's allergic to so much food.
Oh, I love it.
And so he was finally this is I think week 2 going on week 3 for him. And he's like, I think I'm done.
I feel good.
And so he's really enjoying it. And he is you don't understand. In the past, I'll come home with bean burgers or turkey burgers, and he's like, that's not burger. And he refused. And I would have to buy burgers for him and burgers for me. And he refused. But when you're ready, and when it comes in and it's your time, you just jump on it.
By example too, because I was doing it, and Jermaine's like, "Oh, you're really serious, huh?" It's my husband, and he's like, "Oh, you're really serious." He's like, "Okay, I'm with you. I'm working out. We're gonna eat healthy." He's not gonna do the fast, but he was motivated, "Okay, I'm gonna eat healthier." So he started incorporating more salads. He started having a meatless meal.
Yeah, see, it's gradual sometimes, and sometimes it's the time.
Yes.
And that's awesome, because the importance of nutrition would eliminate doctor's office trips.
Exactly.
And it would eliminate, even accidents where bones are breaking, because your children are getting the proper nutrition and stronger bones, stronger, they're just going to be, and mental clarity. Their grades will be better, because when you are feeding, it's fuel. It's fuel for your body, and when you're more conscious of that, and you're just really thinking about it, okay, I can go the fast and easy route, but look what it does. It's in the interim, you're actually doing more harm than good.
Right.
And you might get away with getting something fast, but I'm all for budget, because this could be very costly. But I've done budget research already, and I consult with budget shopping to help people with that as well. And not only that, but the prep time and prepping. It's important that you have a day of prep. It's just you just have to you have it for the whole week then, and then you're good for the week. You just have to take one day, do your meals for the week, and you're good. And it's just a schedule. It's instead of doing it every day, you'll have it already made, and it's fresh. It's just a week. And you can freeze, and when you're refrigerating, it's good. And it's not as hard as it would seem.
We found some cool restaurants too, guys.
Yeah, we did.
Oh yes, there are some awesome places.
Helpful.
Yeah.
Be organic, because at first I was like, I don't know what to eat. I'm starving.
Yes, there's fast food places. I used to, Florida, I know a lot more, but here there are some.
There are.
And even Whole Foods, you can go there and they have food.
Oh, yes.
Unfortunately, though, they don't use all organic there. But some things they do.
Trader Joe's.
Yeah, Trader Joe's has, some quick things. But as far as, going to eat, there's a place in Babylon. They have some raw foods. It's juice blends. They have food already prepared there. And
there's a bunch of places.
Yeah, you just have to look. Google organic restaurant near me, or health food restaurant near me, and Google will let you know where they are. And it's, you know, and that's good for fast. But if you're going out and you have to be in a restaurant, I would just say, hey, just stick with, because it's going to be genetically modified more than likely. So you're going to want the cleanest. You're not going to want to eat their meat. You're not going to want to eat their, you know, their dairy.
Sometimes they're very organic, though. Some
depending.
Organic.
Yeah, there's actually Ruby Tuesdays actually has some organics, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes, they have some organics, and there are some places that do have. You have to just find out. But yeah, just I would just say do not eat meat in a restaurant unless you know it's going to be, it's a good restaurant.
I agree.
Yeah, because you know they're mass producing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you're going to feel it, and you know, and your family will feel it. You know, I mean, you have to think about everyone, and you're going to find once you start being more conscious of your nutrition, your children are going to be sick less. You're going to feel incredible, and overall, that's what God intended for us.
Exactly.
I mean, it's what He wants us to live abundantly. He went to the cross for us so we could live abundantly. But His Word, that's food for our soul, and there's so much wisdom in there. And it's wise. Luke was a physician who used nutrition. He wasn't a doctor that used the pharmaceutical. And sorry if I'm getting into that one. That's a little bit. That's something that's a sacred cow. Everyone's so used to the pharmaceuticals and popping a pill, but it's like, hey, wouldn't you rather take? Well, a lot of people don't like garlic, but have garlic instead of an antibiotic. I mean, yesterday and last night I used apple cider vinegar, and my eye cleared up in a day. I mean, yesterday I couldn't even put anything on my eye. It was all swollen, and unfortunately I had to throw out. I had an old makeup I had used, and I had to throw it away. But it made an infection, and then just cleared it up. Like I was like, oh, that's so awesome, just so fast. And it's using nutrition, and I'm going to give you a really good example. And it's coming on my 8 years that my father had passed away on the 4th of July. And my dad had had to use chemotherapy because he didn't know what I know. But the good thing is that I didn't just do it for me. I had my dad and my brother in mind too when I went forward with this nutrition certification to help other people. Because we perished for lack of knowledge, and unfortunately my dad had taken the chemotherapy. And I went to his oncologist and I said, would you take chemotherapy? And the man just looked at the floor. He couldn't look at me. And I said, I need to know, you're asking my dad to take chemo. Would you take this? He said, I can't offer him anything else. He said, they could take my medical license away. I can get arrested. I have to give him what they tell me to. And I was like, that wasn't a good answer to me. And unfortunately, my dad went the route of chemo, and it made his cancer so aggressive. It was actually the chemo that killed him, not the cancer, because the chemo killed all the good cells. The chemo kills the good and the bad. But here's the good news. There are things that God put in the earth for us that actually kill the cancer and fortify the immune system. And I'm going to give you dandelion root. That is amazing. They're doing testing, finding out that it works more effectively than chemotherapy. And you don't have to lose your hair. It actually builds you up so you could fight the cancer. Now I'm just going to say, hey, which would you prefer? I mean, I wish that I knew this when my dad was going through what he went through, but I understand now. And now I can help my friends' dads or anyone else anyone else that's suffering. And, you know, I can tell you, too, there's other things, castor oil, that shrinks tumors. I really want you to talk
about that, the fibroids.
I've been struggling with fibroids, and they can be very painful, and the swelling is just so uncomfortable.
A lot of us are suffering with fibroids.
And a lot of it, too, is our diet. And I was telling them, like, my family, they're like the food mafia. Like, every time I go out with them, they're like, eat this, and they pull me back into eating bad again. You know, and it's like, I'm like, no, and I pull myself back out. But but I see it, and I always, like, it's like I could feel right away. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so
but
swollen.
But you opted not to have a myomectomy?
Oh yeah, I am okay. I am so like out of the medical field. I stay away altogether. I will never go again. And I told my friends and family, I said, if you ever see me passed out, if it's my time, it's my time. Leave me. Don't call an ambulance. Let me go. You know what I mean? I'm good. I'm fine. I'm not going that route. I'm not going that route because
made a decision.
Yeah, because I know that God is he's protecting me, and I know that that I've even had. All right, I'll give you an example. I cut my thumb and I got blood poisoning, and I had a pink line going down my arm. I didn't even know this. I didn't even know I had the pink line. My friend showed it to me because I was like, why am I in so much pain? Why can't I even lift anything? I felt like I was like exercising and I had a sore muscle and it was all the way up from here down and I could barely even move. And then my friend was like, hey, you got a pink line. That's from your cut. You need to tend to that. You got to get to the hospital. And I was like, no, I don't need to go to the hospital. I just need to clean the wound and pray. And I did. And I'm telling you, on the way home, I started praying in tongues. And I know this is going to sound gross, but I ended up, I had a blanket, I threw up, and I went home, I cleaned out the wound, and the pink line started going away. And I put on my friends on Facebook, I said, pray for me, you know, I have a pink line, I have a blood infection, and they said, go to the ER, and I'm like, no. I mean, that's what we're so predisposed to do, and I'm like, God's got this. And I mean, and all right, some people do die, you know, that they it's not your faith. But listen. If it was my time, I would have went. I knew it wasn't my time. It wasn't my time. But you have to know that. You have to be convinced, Joe.
I don't want you to forget about the fibroids.
Okay, I won't. But I'm just going to say, for something that serious, where people would normally run to the ER, I ran to the Lord. I prayed in tongues. I prayed in my prayer language, and he met me where I was at, and it cleared up. I was fine, and it was like within days I was healed. It was you know, I tended to the wound. I used apple cider vinegar. I didn't use peroxide. Peroxide, I'm finding it can clean the wounds, but apple cider vinegar is working better for cleaning wounds for me. I used manuka honey, which is an antibiotic, a natural antibiotic, and it cleared up, and it was miraculous. But that is one thing. Now, the fibroids is another thing that I'm dealing with nutritionally, and I started using castor oil packs. And I'm not sure if you ladies have heard of this, but you use like a flannel, you put the castor oil on it, and you put a heating pad over it. Well, I took it a step further. I said, you know what? I found that castor oil. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. Castor oil comes from a plant called Cristo palm, which means the palm of Christ. Yeah. That's the plant that castor oil comes from. That's so good. I mean, we have everything we need, and it's right in the earth. Well, I started with that, and castor oil I found is the most deep penetrating oil of them all. Yep. So if you use that as a carrier, I put it with ginger root, which is an anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer. Even if it's worst case scenario, if someone had ovarian cancer, not just the fibroids, you can use the ginger root. It kills the cancer cells. It shrinks fibroids, and it gets rid of them.
So you make a paste out of
I make a poultice out of it. What I do is I make myself, every night I drink ginger tea, and I take the fresh ginger. I do it fast. I stick it in the blender. I put the ginger with the water, and I blend that up. And you could put honey in it if you want, but I just leave it plain, and I drink that tea, and then the pulp, and I eat some of it, and then I put the rest of it on the flannel or a bandage or a gauze, and then I put saran wrap over that, and I put it in the area, and I sleep with that.
But that's also with the castor oil, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. With the castor oil. I put the castor oil first, and then I put that on top of it. And then I put another layer of castor oil, and then I wrap it. and it deeply penetrates. It actually helps the ginger to get in there, and it's awesome. It's been amazing for me. I'm noticing already. Unfortunately, the food mafia got me recently, so I'm still getting rid of it again. My family food mafia, I call them. You know, Italians, they're like, no, eat this. I'm like, no. But anyway, so, you know, it's a process of, there's so much. It says, beloved, amongst all things that I wish that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. So it's so important that we gain wisdom and we learn, what is it, God, that you have for me? What is it that you have for me for healing? What is it that you have for me, for my family, to keep them safe and protect them from disease or from anything? And you know, our generation, because of this wisdom, we could reverse those generational curses of diabetes. We can reverse those curses of heart attacks. We can eliminate our children having to go through being picked on from obesity. We just have to
go back to our roots. Many of us, I mean, we've been raised with West Indian parents, and we know, like, they like drink this or that.
They would shove that in a spoonful of.
we know, we know, like, we've lived
and
off
we
the
can do
earth.
it with our
go back to the basics.
Totally lived off the earth, and then, like she said, you got busy, and then you just started doing all this other stuff. No,
right.
So now we gotta wrap this up.
Yes, you've given us so many gems today. We appreciate it so much, and I just wanted to give you the opportunity to, you know, let them know that you know how you can help them. Actually, I'm going to post your information at the end of in the group, definitely. So
okay, and if you put my website, I have the chart with the eye, and it shows what foods are good for what body part.
Oh, cool.
And it shows you why too. So I have those charts on there, and yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
We're learning, guys.
Yes,
we're learning.
That's why we're here. There is hope. We can navigate these dangerous waters together called life. We got this, and we just thank you for joining us again. Feel free to reach out to us, to Christine, with any questions.
And I wanted to share, if any mommy, I know that this could be costly to do this, and to even seek my counsel could be costly to you. I work with a slide scale, or I will help you for free, because I feel it's important. Education is important, and if I help you, it is blessed to give than to receive.
Amen.
And if you need my help, I am here for you.
Yes.
And I will schedule you in. I will make sure I can get you in to see me, and we can talk about nutrition, and I can help you out.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Have an awesome week. Guys, just wanted to let you know really quickly, next Monday we are going on vacation. Well,
she's going on vacation.
I'm going on vacation.
I'm going to jump on and say a little something, but we're not going to have a show.
Next Monday. So enjoy your Independence Day. That's what you were posting about? EID? I don't know. All right.
No.
I don't know what that meant.
No.
All right. Well, you guys have an awesome week ahead, and we'll talk to you soon. Love you guys. Bye now.
Bye.